Hey, I'm Natasha, founder of Never Launch on a Friday. Excited to have you here this week. Hope everything is going really well. If you're new to Never Launch on a Friday, what we are all about is helping female agency owners heal the trauma that keeps them stuck, keeps us trapped. You've probably heard me say it before on other podcasts, but I like to visualize you're in the fishing net and there's the cords all around you and you can't get out, but the cords are the trauma that keeps you stuck, that keeps your fear from expanding, getting out of your comfort zone, feeling stressed. And so what we are here to do is to help you. How do we heal what's keeping you in the comfort zone so you have the ability, the capacity, the freedom to expand? I love seeing female founders succeed. I am obsessed with championing how do you say that word? Female agency owners. And I just love to share ideas that can help us just change the way we think and have more expansion, bring more brilliance, shine even brighter, achieve our goals. And one thing I want to talk about today is sort of this really interesting expression that I heard. And it's about happiness is a result of removing, not of adding. And I don't know if you've ever heard that, but to me, that was just so fascinating. And it's like the idea of, remember one time I read in a book or heard on a podcast, I can't remember, Brene Brown said, it's like, okay, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling unhappy, how do we remove those things? Instead of becoming better at managing stress, which yes, we have to do, getting better at managing awful situations, is like, how about we just remove them? How about we just don't at all? And how about we really intentionally remove the things that are robbing our happiness? And I just think that's such a fascinating way to look at it. Because I think a lot of us as founders, we're like, okay, when I get to this point, I'm going to feel better. I'm going to feel happy. I'm going to feel accomplished. I'm going to feel like I'm my work means something. I'm gonna be able to do this for my family. And we have all these things that stress us out. We set all these limits on ourselves. But it's like, okay, let's talk about the Marie Kondo of our life. Let's talk about adding. Let's talk about removing. So if you don't know who Marie Kondo is, Marie Kondo, she's from Japan, and she got really famous by teaching people about how to tidy up, to create space, right? And it's called, the magic of tidying up or something. She wrote a book, she had a TV show, she's got lots of books about this. And the idea is like tidying to create more clarity, more joy, more space, more freedom. And if you ever read it, I totally recommend it. It's such a great book. I Marie Kondo my life way too much. I'm like the extreme minimalist. My kids are always like, Mom, don't throw it out. My partner is like, where is my this? He's like, did you donate it? And I was like, oh. So I'm like queen of throwing things away. Let's talk about that. What does that look like? Let's talk about your business, first of all. Your business. Are there clients that are killing your happiness? Do you need to fire some clients? And I know a lot of people think that's crazy. Like, how would you do that? And it's like, they might be paying you money, but what is your mental health worth, right? What is your ability to sleep at night, not be afraid to check your email, not being afraid of getting a phone call, not being afraid of being yelled at? What is that? Like, what is that worth to you, right? So are there clients you need to just say goodbye to, right? And handle it professionally. You can do it in a professional way. It's okay. But what about your team? Do you have people on your team that bring trauma? They're complaining, or they're late, or their billing is always wrong, or they don't follow instructions, or they do passive aggressive, they're unreliable. Okay, what amount of stress is that causing you? What amount of mental health drain, stress on you is being caused by having a team you can't count on? Right? So if there's someone on your team, you're allowed to fire people. You're allowed to fire a client. You're allowed to fire someone on your team. So if there's someone on your team who's not performing and not following instructions and not like going along with what was agreed to, be like, hey, you know what? I really appreciate the work you've put in so far, but I just want to let you know, I don't feel this is going in the direction that my team and I are looking for. I'm just going to let you know right now that we're going to go ahead and end this contract. And thank you again for your time. Boom. Like, handled, done, not worth it. And I know these things can cause a lot of stress, right? You're like, oh my gosh, what if I fire a client? What about the money? Okay. But when you're in a really clear headspace and you're like, oh my God, I don't have to deal with the drama of that client anymore, you feel free. You feel more alive. You feel more expansive. You feel more creative. You can go get another client. That is not a problem. You can absolutely go get the client. And then you're actually going at it from a creative, inspired, open perspective, right? And then what about your team? Okay, same thing. You fire someone on the team, the world is full of amazing people. Okay, you learn, what did I not want from this person? What went wrong? How do I improve my hiring process? And if you need help with your hiring process, I have a link in the show notes. It's talking about my process for hiring virtual contractors, right? And then so then what else on your team? What about your processes? What if your processes are out of date? What are old? What are some subscriptions that you're paying for, you're not even using anymore? What are some like documents and stuff and archives and templates your team's not using? Let's just archive them. Let's get rid of them. Let's throw them out. Clean it up. Like what is all okay, think about your business and what are all the energy leaks? Team, client, processes. What about receivables? Do you have money that hasn't been paid? Do you need to follow up on that? Do you need a bookkeeper to be more on top of your money? Right? If dealing with money and taxes and remitting and reconciling and invoicing just drives you up the wall, don't do it. Hire someone else. Hire someone else to do it. You don't have to do it, right? This is all about the team building. Like think about your business. Okay, what is stressing you out right now? If biz dev stresses you out, okay, could you get someone else? Could you hire some support? Could you hire a marketing assistant? Could you hire a marketing agency to help you with your marketing? Like think about it. Like what is the drag? Where are your energy drains? For you to be in your life, show up in your life for your team, for your clients, for your kids, for your partner, for your family, for yourself, you need some energy. And if your whole day at work is pulling it all away, that is not good because that domino of exhaustion goes into your family life, right? You finish work and then all of a sudden you're just too exhausted to like, do stuff with your family, right? So look at the leaks. Is your office a mess? Do you need to literally just clean your office? Do you have too many books? I know for me, like I have just books everywhere and like there's books I'm not going to read. And it's this subconscious pull, like, oh my gosh, I have so many books and like I don't read them. So you can see on my bookshelf right behind me, like I have some books I need to get rid of. I have too many books and I'm not going to read them and they're on topics that don't interest me. So let's get rid of it, you know? And then, so let's go to your personal life, right? Let's go to your personal life. So who in your life drains you? Where are the relationships in your life that pull your joy, that just sink you? And I know I can easily think of some people who just being around them is just, oh my God, it's just exhausting. And you're like, I don't want to be around you. I don't like, you don't have to. One of my controversial opinions is if you have someone in your family, just because they're your blood does not mean you have to be their buddy, right? There's some people in your family, maybe your immediate family, maybe your extended family, maybe your whatever family, not good. And maybe they keep in touch and maybe there's a sense of obligation there, but like, could you minimize the amount of time? In your personal life, is your house a mess? Messy environments, just whether you want to admit it or not, it's a drain. It's an emotional drain because you see it, something to do. I got to pick that up. I got to put that in the laundry. I got to clean the kitchen. I got to do you need someone to help you clean? Does cleaning kill your joy? I know for me, like I don't like cleaning. So, there's been lots of times in my life where I've had someone who comes and cleans. And she comes once every 2 weeks. She does all the cleaning. I do the tidying, like day to day. Obviously, or my family will do the tidying. But someone comes and cleans, right? You don't have to think about it. Does it drain your joy? You think about things that you hate, like chores that you hate in the house. For me recently, I have 2 dogs. And I was like, I don't want to clean up the yard. I don't want to clean up after them. So I hired this service. It's like $13 a week. They come and then they pick up it all up. I was like, geez, like my life now, just that quality of life, it's just so much better. It's just so much better now. I don't have to deal with that. So there's things like that. Look around your life. Look at your personal self, you. Okay, where do you feel like you're being pulled in too many directions? And it looks like, okay, could it be, for me, I have 3 kids. Okay, the carpooling or this or that. It's like, okay, could you figure out, a way to not, I remember when I was driving my kids are big now and they drive themselves to school. But I remember when they were little and I had to drive them everywhere and it was like 20 hours a week of like off and pickup. I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is a part-time job just in the car. So it's like, could I find a carpool? Could they Uber to school? Could they ride their bikes to school? Could I figure out, them taking the bus? Could I figure like, if this is a huge drain on my energy, how do I find a solution? Because if I'm not driving them, that's 20 hours a week of other things I could do. And I could do like some workout. I could do some meditation. I could do some reading. I could do some more extra work. I could do some whatever. But it's like, okay, look at your personal life. Look at your personal health. What are you eating that sucks joy? What are you putting into your body that just makes you tired and makes you exhausted? And it's just like, what are you putting in your body that does not make your body happy? I say to my kids all the time, like if they want to eat some junk food or something, and I'm not super, super picky about that, but I'm like, I remember teaching them when they were little, I'm like, your tongue likes it, your body doesn't. So I like to think about that too when I'm eating, and I'm not perfect and I'm not worried about eating junk food sometimes, but it's like, okay, is this something that my body likes or something that just my tongue and my brain like because it tastes like sugar or whatever, right? It's like, okay, what is it? Am I putting a lot of food in my body that drains your happiness? If you drink a lot, or if you smoke, or if you whatever, and you're putting these things that just, again, are taking away the joy. And I'm just giving examples, right? And I think a lot of us need to think about the fact that we're always looking like out there to be happy. But what if happiness is just, it's a decision of where you are? And there's not like a point where you're like, hey, yes, when I get this car, when I get the whatever, it's like, no, it's like the contentedness of being where you are. I remember I heard the story by Alex Formosi, and he was running when he was running a gym, back in the day when he was running his gym. And he talked to me, or he talked to me, sorry. He said in the story, he's like, he had this trainer, and the trainer was making whatever, like $30 an hour or something. And he was not making a lot of money. And Alex said to the guy, he's like, look, I want to promote you to be a manager. And the guy's like, okay, great. And so he was being a manager, and he was making triple the money and all this stuff. And then finally the trainer said, or the manager said to Alex, he's like, look, I don't want to do this. It's too much stress. I just want to be a trainer. I love to train. I love fitness. I love working with clients. I want to be a trainer. And Alex said to the guy, he's look, you're going to make a third of the money. Like, you're going to be broke, dude. And the guy's like, I'd rather be, but I love it. I love what I'm doing, and I'd rather do that. And that's okay. And Alex is like, you cracked the code, dude. You're happy where you are with what you have. And it's not to say that you don't expand, but it's like, do you expand at the cost of your joy? We hear this expression a lot. You see this. I remember reading this article from Forbes last week about this billionaire who became a billionaire, and he realized it wasn't what he wanted. And so now he's like in this place of teaching other entrepreneurs how to be happy, like where they are with what they have. And it's such an interesting paradigm, right? Because it's like, I think there's a place where we think, okay, if I'm satisfied, if I'm happy, if I have less, if my life is simpler and cleaner, then that's going to kill my ambition. If I'm not putting this constant pressure on myself to perform, I'm going to compromise my results. And it's like, well, what if it's the opposite? What if it's that, okay, we're happy where we are, but I also want to grow. But it's not like I'm not tied to the growth, right? Because I kind of think sometimes like who we are is who we are, whether we're here or whether we're there. So if you're the kind of person who's like grumpy and complaining and never satisfied, okay, where you are, you're probably gonna be the same when you get to B, right? I remember I was like that for my entire life, was like, okay, no, when I have this, when I hit this goal, when I hit this goal, and you hit them and you're like, oh, it's kind of, and then now you're chasing the next one, and it never ends. And it's like, okay, how can I be satisfied? How can I be happy now? What do I need to remove now? What stressors do I have now? Move them. I don't know why, to me that was just like so life changing. I was like, oh my God, I just kept trying to find ways to manage my stress and breathing. And it's like, well, what if you just remove the things that stress you out? What if you just take them out of take them out? Right? Like I did with the dogs in my backyard. I'm like, I hated doing it. I hated it. I was like, oh, I don't want to clean that up. My kids didn't want to clean it up. No one wanted to clean it up. I'm like, okay, now I got a woman who comes every Wednesday. She's lovely and she cleans it up. I'm like, right? There's certain tasks in my business I didn't want to do. And I'm like, I need another assistant. I have now 3 assistants now. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't. And it was stressing me out. And I was like, oh my God, I need help. And so I got another assistant. So I'm giving you permission. You are allowed to remove. You're allowed to go for your own joy, your own satisfaction, your own happiness. It's okay. You're not a martyr. Sorry, you don't have to be a martyr in your business. You don't have to do things you hate. You're allowed to do what you do. And at home, away, make a list. Make a list of, okay, business, I don't like this. Or this is stressful to me. This is triggering to me. And then, your personal life, okay, I don't like this. This is triggering to me. Let's maybe say yourself, your home life, and then maybe your personal life. And it's like, okay, how do we get rid of it? How do we get rid of it? Like, let's say you have a family member and you don't really like to see them, but you're like, hey, I can text you every now and again and just keep in touch. I don't have to see you, right? Or let's say that you have, a service that you don't like selling your business. It stresses you out. Kill it off. Do something else. Do something that brings you joy. Because the thing is, you only get one shot at this. And this might sound a little melodramatic, but I had breast cancer last year. I finished breast cancer treatment last year. And you only get one shot. How are you going to live your life? What do you want? Like, your joy matters, right? It's all not just this push for years. And no, what about today? What if you don't have tomorrow, right? What if you don't have next week? What if today? What about enjoying the journey, right? Because that's the thing that I know for me, I've just really had to learn how to do in the last 2 years is like, you have today. How do you enjoy today? What do you have to do to make your life happy now? And then from a place of happiness and contentedness, we expand and we contribute and we grow. But it's not because we think there is going to be better than here. And there might be components that are better, but there might be components that are worse, right? But it's like, it doesn't matter. It's like we literally enjoy the journey, like the Miley Cyrus song. I'm not a fan of Miley Cyrus, but the song is like, it's the climb, right? And it's true, it's the climb. It's like, how do we enjoy that process of learning and growing and expanding and adventures and ups and downs? And how do we enjoy this ride, right? Because there may not be tomorrow. So don't postpone. Don't try to like live your life for this future moment. Yes, go for it. But also do what you need to do to make the experience of the achieving it also fun. Because if you have like between here to here, you have 5 years, what are you going to do? Be miserable and stressed for 5 years? Okay, what do we have to do now? What needs to be removed now that will make your life more enjoyable, more fun, more light, more bright, more fulfilling? What do you need to do now? And it's probably a question of removing, not adding, because adding can create even more stress, right? Take inventory, go buy the book, buy books by Marie Kondo, do the tidying up, do the cleaning, not just your house, your mind, your workplace, behaviors, people. Make those lists, piece by piece, start cleaning it up, and you'll notice your stress will just start coming down. So I hope that was helpful. As always, I would love your comments. Send me some thoughts. What do you think? What's your feedback on what I was saying about happiness is about removing, not adding? And I can't wait to hear from you. We'll talk soon.